Welcome to the NFL Power Rankings Week 6, and boy, we got a lot to cover, and there was a lot of stuff that happened this week. Moving on to number 10, we have got the Pittsburgh Steelers with a record of 3-1. The Steelers on a bye week. However, the only reason I really put them on here because sure, their record is 3-1, but their opponents in the division had all lost this week. The Bengals, of course, losing to the Detroit Lions. The Ravens getting smoked by the Houston Texans, and the Browns losing on, if I'm corrected, it was in Dublin. And that's really the only reason they're in here. Their division's not looking too great. The Lamar Jackson-led Ravens are without Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow is out. For the Bengals, both are going to be out for a little bit. Burrow's going to be out a lot longer. And the Browns, they're the Cleveland Browns. They're not really looking too great right now. But moving on to number 9, we've got the Denver Broncos. The Broncos just coming off of beating the Eagles. They would be higher, but I just feel like there's a lot of other teams that are in front of them, even teams that have lost that I probably would have put higher right there, as we will see later on. Their record currently 3-2. Their only losses have been to last-second field goals. And to be honest, that would be a really... they should be higher on my list. My only real concern about them is Bo Nix. Can Bo Nix get the job done when it matters most? So far, haven't really been able to see it. And also their defense, besides stepping up against the Eagles, which A.J. Brown pretty much deflected the pass from Devontae Smith, their defense hasn't really been able to clutch up in the game-time moments as you would really hope them to be able to. Moving on to number 8, we have got the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks just lost a barn burner to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which really could have gone either way. Seattle, current record's 3-2, I think I already said that. And to be fair, that game could have gone either way. And I really like in Seattle's situation right now. I think Sam Darnold is playing a lot better than he did at the end of his stint with the Vikings, which is going to be really good for them. However, their schedule coming up is looking okay, I guess. I mean, it could be a lot worse. But, I mean, they would be a lot higher right there, as you saw in the thumbnail and at the beginning. They are one of my teams that I had on the lower side dropping down. This is the first video, but they probably would have been 5-ish. But moving on to number 6, or 7, my bad, I got that wrong. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off of a huge upset win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Sure, the Jaguars being 3-1, but are those wins actually good? The Kansas City Chiefs showed us that they just showed up and played like they normally did last week. We expected that kind of again the same. I was expecting the Jaguars to lose this game. So coming in and actually winning. And also on that, because this is a newsflash, I'm recording this right after they ended up beating the Jags. Well, the Jags ended up beating the Chiefs. Trevor Lawrence falling down and scoring that touchdown. Incredibly play by him. Resiliency on that. And you're just going to like a lot of the things they're going to be seeing right here. Also 4-1. I mean, I had to put them on the list. They've been looking really good. Moving on to number 6 now. We've got the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts. This was the week they really needed to show, hey, the team we're playing against isn't very good. Will we play down to their level? Or we rise up to like the expectations we're kind of setting on ourselves now. And they rised up to those expectations. Currently sitting 4-1 right now. Actually tied with the conference with the Jags, which is why they're not a little bit higher. Because I'd like them to be, at 4-1, I'd expect them to be not contending with the division right now. Sorry, I'm losing my breath. Whew. But the Colts, Daniel Jones, been looking really solid. Their team's been looking great. Jonathan Taylor has been looking amazing people expect him to fall off. I always believed in Jonathan Taylor. Not because I had him in fantasy for any years. No, it's not because of that. Totally not. But the Colts, their schedule is looking pretty decent. I expect them, they play against like how they played against the Raiders, to be doing pretty well. But moving on to number 5 here, we've got the Detroit Lions. The Lions coming off a win against Cincy. It's not a very impressive win, I will say. The Lions shouldn't have let Cincy come back in that game. Well, they didn't come back and win. They scored more points, though, Cincy should have against that Lions defense, and that's something to be a little worried about. The Lions, after week 1, have been playing great, but that is a Jake Browning-led offense that have not been playing great in the last few weeks. And in fact, so badly, some people are already maybe putting the Bengals out of playoff contention this early into the season with Burrow being out so well. But the Lions, I mean, they still got the win, though, moving on to 4-1 on the year, which is why I'm putting them number 5. I'm just a little concerned right now, though, that, you know, they almost couldn't shut that game out. Sure, it was more like trash scoring. But so they still had their first strings in, and I just don't think they should have allowed those touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on to number 4, we've got the San Francisco 49ers. Absolutely shocking me. And is the sole reason the Rams are not on the top 10 for this week. San Fran, coming into this game, you didn't really expect much from them. Sure, their record was decent. Their team's been playing decent. But they were playing against the Rams. They had a lot of guys out with injuries. The majority of their offense, I think there's 3 top starting receivers. All that was injuries, which is not great. And that's not really what you're going to want to see out of something like that. But the 49ers, Mac Jones, they've been playing great, and you're kind of wishing he didn't play great if you're a Niners fan, because it's making you really wonder why the hell he signed Brock Purdy to a contract, $55 million, when Mac Jones has been balling out, so it's just a system-wise thing. Either way, though, you can't be complaining, though. Got the win. Very close game. Thursday Night Football has been popping off the last few weeks. But moving now on to number 3. Sorry, I'm losing my breath. We've got the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo falling from number 2, which is what I would have had them previously. They just lost to the Patriots. Now, to be fair, the Patriots could also be 4-1 currently if their record, well, not their record, but if they just be able to close out games. They did end up beating the Bills, which is why the Bills are a little bit lower down than what I expect them to be right now. But still, number 3 on the list. Can't complain if you're a Bills fan. Their quarterback situation pissed me off this week because I had them in fantasy. What was I going to say? But, I mean, James Cook still looking like a great running back option. I will say the receiving room, like, outside of Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, I will expect to see a little bit more out of him. But overall, I mean, you still can't be pissed if you're a Bills fan. Sure, you're losing to a division rival, but, I mean, you're still pretty high up on here. But number 2, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers jumping up a decent amount. To be fair, I had Tampa Bay winning my Super Bowl for this year. It's probably a hot take on that. I expect them to do really well. And so far, they have been doing really well. I just haven't been able to see them not really win the games, as you can see. They're 4-1 right now. They've been able to win the games. Be able to blow opponents out, or at least give a comfortable lead. Their one loss, I mean, it was an okay loss, I guess, but the other wins have been fourth quarter comebacks. And that's not really one you want to be able to see if you're a Tampa Bay fan, because when you're going against those really hard teams in the playoffs, you might not be able to have the chance of making the comebacks because their coaching staff is going to be a little bit better. But again, you still can't be mad. You just came off a great win against the Seattle Seahawks, who I believe I had listed at number 8. I did. And you just nothing really to complain about there. Which moves us on to number 1. And even after a loss, the Philadelphia Eagles are staying there. I mean, sure, they lost. Their team just needs to show up in all 4 quarters. Which, to be fair, if they do, they will practically be probably the best team in the NFL right now, which is why I still have them at 1. They were 1 anyways, which would have been last week if I had a video for that. The Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley, I think they need to get him a lot more engaged in the run game. 6 carries this week, not a lot, and I expected to see a little bit more out of him. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's a good quarterback, but he's not been able to show us that he can throw the ball. Well, at least this week, based on what I was able to watch. He has not. Those passes, there was a lot of big plays where he could have just hit the open receiver and missed him, and then this game would have been shut out a long time ago. But after all, still can't be complaining. They're 4-1, still number 1 in the power rankings. But I will see you all next week, probably this week, for the prediction videos. Adios.